All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. I love Mondays. I love Mondays for Mindset Monday. I love Mondays as an entrepreneur. I love Mondays as a mama who has 3 kids in school. Mondays are just my happy place, and it's beautiful and sunshiny, and spring is on the horizon over here in New England. So I'm super pumped. But welcome to the Monday Mindset Call. I am Amanda Kingsley, and I am a life coach, a network marketer, a mama, a wife, a friend, and a learner. I'm a learner and a regurgitator, processor and regurgitator, as are the 4 of us who host this call every Monday. We are all passionate about network marketing, so we do have an intention to share all of our lessons and our learnings and our information in a way that network marketers can benefit and grow their businesses. But really, we are just a bunch of women who are in a constant, we're like sponges. We're always learning, learning, learning. And this call is meant for us to share some of the lessons that we're learning with you so that you can live a bigger, brighter, fuller life. So, that being said, let's get moving here. And today's call is about impact. So I'm super excited about this topic for a bunch of reasons. It's been a word that's been really present for me particularly this year. But even in the last few weeks, impact has been a really powerful word for me. And I want to share today how it's been powerful and how I believe you, of course, this call is welcome for anyone to listen and learn from. But I'm going to speak specifically to the network marketers among us. And I want to share how you giving some attention to the impact that you are making can really, hopefully, propel your business forward. So, for anyone listening who has a pen and paper, fantastic. If you don't have a pen and paper, maybe you could run and grab one. Otherwise, you could just listen to the replay. If you are listening to the replay, maybe hit pause. But I want you to draw a circle in the center of your paper. And then I want you to draw 3 more circles around that. And I want you to just take a minute to step back to the very beginning of your network marketing business. The very beginning when you'd been introduced to your company or your product, and that spark sort of went off, and you thought, wow, this is it. This is the one that's for me. This is the one that's going to make a difference in my life. This is the one that's going to make a difference for the world. And so I want you to think back to that moment, regardless of where you're at in your business right now. I want you to go back to that place. And I want you to think about the vision you had, not the fears that came up, not the questions or the hesitancy. But I want you to think about the vision that made you say yes. Perhaps it was you financially free. Perhaps it was you with a global network marketing team. Perhaps it was you vibrantly being a part of a community, all earning income and moving towards financial freedom. But I want you to imagine that moment where you thought, this would be best case scenario, right? This may not be where I lead, but this would be best case scenario, and this is worth saying yes for. And I want you to sort of, you can draw whatever symbol you want inside that center circle, but if you can't think of one, just make it perhaps a heart or a star. And that is going to represent your best case scenario in your network marketing business. So for some of you, that might mean making $1,000 a month. For some of you, that might mean making $30,000 a month. And for others, it might mean making $1 million a month. So perhaps there's others of you who don't even have your head wrapped around the numbers. But for you, it means sharing the product with your friends and family, or sharing the product with your community, or with your country, or with the world. But inside that heart or star or whatever the symbol is your best case scenario. So now let's just pretend that you are living in your best case scenario. This is like everything has fallen into place. It's taken hard work, it's taken dedication, it's taken learning and growing and expansion, but you have reached your peak of your network marketing business. And it feels amazing, right? It feels totally amazing. We've talked a little bit, or quite a bit, about vision in past Mindset Monday calls. But here you are, you're in it. You are as in it as you possibly could be. Now, I want you to look at the space you've created around that inner circle. So you drew a second circle outside of that, and there's some space there between your center circle and your next circle. And in that space are the people immediately affected by you and your success in this vision, right? You're living this vision, and who is immediately affected by that? Perhaps it's your children, perhaps it's your partner, perhaps it's your parents. But who is in that immediate circle of people who benefit from that vision? Let's just say you are have reached a point in your business, which was one of your goals to, perhaps it was your end goal to make $30,000 a month. And you're there, and your immediate circle, your friends, family, partner, children, the people very closest to you who are affected by your bank account and your success, are in that circle. And how do they feel? How has your successful vision impacted their journey? And then I want you to move out to the next circle. And the next circle that you've drawn, because you should have 3 beyond your inner circle, the next space you've drawn is for your community. It's perhaps your friends and acquaintances, perhaps your local school, your nonprofits that you participate in, that you have an active role in, maybe your church. But the smaller community that extends beyond your immediate friends and family, how are they impacted by you living the truth of that vision of your network marketing business in its full thrive? How are they impacted? And then you can move out to the next circle and take a much bigger global view. And you could put many, many circles here. But beyond your community that watches you, that follows you, that leans into you, that you lean into, there's a world. And there are people watching what you've done. And there are people who are affected by the product that you share. And there are people who will have a hand in that money you've been able to earn and donate and share, that you will never meet. You will never know who they are. But your vision, your success, your commitment, your dedication has created this massive impact. And so when you think about working your network marketing business, I want you to think about what a huge impact it has and the potential that it has, not just for you, not just for your immediate circle, but for your community and for the whole world. And that's the big vision that I want you to walk away with today. But I want to break that down for you in the next chunk of this call. Because this visual you have in front of you is so important. And when you think about the no's you've gotten, the lack of time you have, the frustration you may or may not have with a particular element of your company or your product, I want you to go back to that visual, that bullseye of you and your ultimate version of success and the impact it has on the rest of the world. And then I want to go back to the pieces, right? So in the day to day, that's the big picture. But in the day to day, I want you to start thinking really differently about everything you do. I want you to sort of break out all the pieces of your business. Perhaps you could make a list now. I'll make a list of some things that I thought of, and you can sort of expand on that. Or there's probably things that I didn't think of off the top of my head that you can add. But some of the things that are included in you creating this successful vision would be social media. So many of us do participate in some form of social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, some version of social media. And then maybe you're in a company that hosts parties or has launches or has some sort of event, smaller event that is a piece of you running your business. So maybe parties. And then I want you to think about your product, right? Your product is a piece of your business, whether you are sharing health technology or you are sharing lip gloss or you are sharing travel vacations. Think about your product. That's a piece of your business. The lifestyle that you live is a piece of your business. So me waking up on Monday morning and feeling so vibrant and pumped up and alive and excited because I work from home and I get to create my week right now. I am the CEO of my life and business. And so there's a whole lifestyle element to you running your business, being able to work from your phone, being able to work from your mobile devices and laptops, being able to having access to communities of people, and as you grow and expand, a higher level of income lifestyle. So lifestyle is a piece of your business. Events are a piece of your business, not just the parties, but more regional and national and perhaps global events are a piece of your business. And then your team, right? So whether you have one person on your team or you have 10,000 people on your team or you have 100,000 people on your team, there's an impact had in that. And it's really important. So those were some of the things I thought of that are pieces of your business that do make an impact, whether you realize or not. They make an impact. And the way you interact with each of those pieces and the way that you present yourself, those are making an impact on the world. It may be one that you intend to make and are making intentionally, or it may be one that you are making unintentionally. And my hope for you is that at the end of this call, you will feel like you have more tools and more awareness to be making an intentional, powerful, purposeful impact in the world. Because I like the word legacy a lot. It's one of my favorite words. And we are all leaving a legacy. We are all building a legacy. Is it the one we want to be leaving and building, or is it not? And so that is our impact on the world. So let's go back up to the top of the list and we will look at social media. So when you're using social media, perhaps you are posting about an opportunity, meeting or presentation. Perhaps you are sharing a fun or beautiful meme that explains something about your business. Perhaps you're asking a question that will stimulate conversation, but you're using social media in some way to attract business. That's why most of us use social media for business. We want to attract an audience. We want to share what we do know, stimulate conversation, and attract people to be a part of what we're doing, whether it's through the consumer end or the business end. But I want you to think about the ways that you use social media and watch how other people are using social media. Notice when someone posts something that makes you sort of cringe a little bit. Notice when someone posts something that just feels like relief. It feels really grounding. It feels really good. It's stimulating something inside of you that feels passionate or purposeful or excited. So really start paying attention to your social media and what impact it has. And so there are many people in this industry who come in and best to them. There's no wrong way to do this business because we're all learning. But sometimes there's a lot of posting on social media that feels uncomfortable. It feels salesy, it feels pushy, it feels awkward. And so you now have an opportunity to notice that, to notice what your community feels good about, to notice what your community wants to hear from you. And now every time you share on social media, you have an opportunity to impact someone. I want you to think much further than the impact being them purchasing your product or you joining your business. Because maybe you post something about the incredible lifestyle you're able to live because of your company, because of this business model. And maybe that person reads it and they go, gosh, I really wish that I loved that product the way Amanda does, but I don't. And until I do, I need to find, if I ever do, I need to find a product that will resonate with me the way that one does for Amanda. And I'm going to change my life the way she's changed her life. And so I want you to be really okay with that. The impact you have might be that someone sees and feels and knows what you're doing and they purchase your product. Excuse me. I swallowed wrong. And they do purchase your product, or they do join your team, or they do become your next rock star. But maybe not. Maybe they go purchase someone else's product and they join someone else's team and they become someone else's rock star. And I want you to feel really good about that because you just changed someone's life by sharing your story, by making an impact. You changed someone's life, whether it was in your company or someone else's. And so every time we post on social media, we have an opportunity to leave an impact, to make an impact, to make someone think just a little bit differently. Maybe you're in a nutrition company and someone who reads your posts and doesn't comment, doesn't like, doesn't respond, doesn't share, saw it and they thought, you know what? I've been on this medication all my life for 30 plus years. And it's time for me to look into what my other options are. Maybe they don't choose your nutritional product, but maybe they find another one. Maybe they find a different route that leads them toward a healthier lifestyle. That's the impact we get to have. And when we share value in this way, regardless of what the outcome is, unattached from our ego, unattached from our desires about our own success in our own company, it will come back. I promise you, it will come back to you. It may not come back in the time frame that you're imagining or in the way that you're imagining, but when you give value in a way that you know you are making an impact, and you do so intentionally and purposefully, it's going to come back to you in one way or another. I know for me, a lot of the lessons I learned in network marketing are now coming through me again in my life coaching work. And that's really powerful. So my intention was to make a whole lot of money with my first network marketing company. I've since joined another one that I'm really excited about. But it turned out that so many of those lessons I learned the first time around, their impact was not on me making tens of thousands of dollars a month in that company, but they hadn't played an impact in me and my life coaching work. So it wasn't the way that I imagined it would happen, but I just kept giving value and I just kept showing up and I just kept learning lessons and I kept making an impact. And now it's really coming back to me in a totally unexpected way. All right, so that was my little rundown on social media. Let's look at a couple of these other things on the list. So, parties, again, this is another great example. I've never been in a company that hosts parties. One of the reasons I joined network marketing was because I was had a physical reaction to parties as an introvert, and with past judgments about parties, and it just was not a business model that I was comfortable joining. And I give high fives and big props to people who are in party companies. It is not my comfort zone. But if you're in a party company, you have an opportunity to make an impact. You, every time you host a party, every time you go to a party, every time you participate or promote a party, you have an opportunity to make an impact. You can be that party that people left with so much value, whether they purchased your product or not, whether you grew new team members or not. You can have an impact by sharing that party, by having a purposeful, intentional, beautiful party. You will have an impact. And I want you to think about all your relations around parties or launch events, and think, how does this party impact the bigger vision, the one we started to at the beginning of the call with all the circles, right? How does it impact me? How does it impact my immediate family, the community, the global planet? Think about that. Don't just throw the party together and follow what your upline says by the T and read from the paper. Make it yours. Make it an impact that comes straight from you and your heart. Don't go necessarily rogue on your company and not follow the system, but choose to dig deeper than that. Go, you know what? All my friends and family know and love me for my puff pastry. That's one of the things that they always celebrate about me. So there's no way I'm not having a party without sharing my puff pastry. I don't know what it is, or perhaps it's a certain music that you play, or having candles lit. But remember that every time you participate in a party in any way, you are making an impact, and it will come back to you in the greater circle of your business and your vision. In terms of the product, if we step away from the business element, every time we consume the product, every time we share the product, I have my last company that I was in, and I'm still slightly connected to in terms of product, because I love their product so much, and I still share their product regularly and take their product regularly. But it was a medicinal mushroom company, and in terms of product, and sometimes people will still come up to me and share stories about how they have found medicinal mushrooms in their lives. I have personal opinions about what products they're using, but in my mind, they have chosen a healthier lifestyle because of me sharing that product, because of me making a statement to the world. These are good for us. Like, we need to think beyond the typical pharmacy shelves, and we need to look at nature, and we need to look at natural healing. And so I know that I've made an impact on people's health and wellness by sharing my product, by talking about my product, by being what do they call it? A product of your product, right? I am a product of my product. I just got rid of a urinary tract infection. Perhaps too much information for some of you, but heck, that's who I am. I just got rid of a urinary tract infection using my product. I am a product of the product. And so that's making an impact on people. It's sharing a story that otherwise wouldn't be shared in the world. You know, my voice, my take, my community. It's a story that needs to be told. And so every time we talk about our product, use our product, my new company has a product that I use on my cell phone. And so every time people see it on my cell phone and ask me about it, I am able to share with them the effects of Wi-Fi and radio waves and radiation. And I'm able to talk about how harmful this device world that we live in really is for our bodies. And so I'm able to bring people awareness. I'm able to make an impact. by sharing the product, by being a product of the product. Um, and sharing even things on my social media that are not necessarily about my company, but they're about the concepts that my company believes in. So that's one way we can make an impact regarding just our product, even if we take away the business. But then if we move fully over to the business and we talk about the lifestyle of working from home, of having a side gig, of having an additional stream of income. Right now I have my family has at least 5 streams of income. I personally have 3. And it's sort of non-negotiable in today's economy, at least where we live in the United States. Most people are not getting by on one income. We need multiple streams of income. So when I share about the opportunity to have a side gig, to be able to run a business from home alongside all the other things that I do, I'm making an impact. I am sharing with other people what's possible. One of my favorite mentors says that her purpose is to be an example of what's possible. And so every time I talk about the ability to work from home and make money from home and build a team and a community from home, I am making an impact on someone. I am creating the vision of that original image with all the circles, and my choices are already rippling out and creating a really solid foundation of legacy that I'm slowly building piece by piece, because I'm aware that everything I do is a part of the story. Everything I do is making an impact, whether I like it or not. So I'm not going to keep going through events and team, but you could see how every single thing you do in this business is powerful. And unfortunately, I do think one of the hardest parts about our business model is that it is very easy to step into. It's very easy to step away from. And we sort of undervalue how important it is and how big our voice is as a part of the industry. And so I encourage us, and I know that we wouldn't be on this call today if we didn't sort of have these values, but perhaps this will get shared with people who haven't thought about it this way. And it really is an important business model in the world, and it is making a greater impact, and we get to be a part of that. We get to create that for people. So some of the questions, as I wrap up here, some of the questions I want you to start asking of yourself more as you do your work is, as you think about sharing, as you think about going to or planning events, as you think about consuming and being a product of your product, ask yourself questions like, how will this make an impact, right? If I post this meme, how will it make an impact? Because I think that's one of the biggest problems on social media, for instance, is that we post something because we're in a moment, but we don't think about what does that mean for the next person who reads it, and the next person who reads it, and the next person who reads it. It may mean something wonderful. It may mean something not so wonderful. So really think that before you do everything you do, before you make an invite, before you invite someone to a party, how will this make an impact? And really notice and come back to that ripple effect. How does you and your business have an impact on the bigger world? Another way you could ask that question is, what impact am I making? Or what impact did I make today? Close your day before you go to bed. What impact did I make? How did I make a difference today? Another question you could ask would be, what will be the most impactful thing I can do? So let's say that I just joined a new company, or I just welcomed a new team member. What is the most impactful way that I can share that with the world? Instead of just throwing it up and announcing it haphazardly and then eagerly awaiting the response or lack thereof, ask yourself, what's the most impactful way that I can share this message that I have, that I can share this product that I have? And then whether it turns out the way you imagined or not, know that all you can do in the world is make the most intentional, purposeful choices for you, and wait and see, because maybe it doesn't mean that that post goes viral, but maybe it means one person sees it and they never comment, or they never respond, or they never share, but it just changed their life. And you don't know that. You don't know. So when you think intentionally ahead of time what your impact will be, you have a greater chance of making a positive one. I think that's it for me today. So I wasn't sure I could talk 30 minutes about impact, but I could probably talk another 30 minutes more about impact. Um, until next week, that's all I have for you. Check out our other Monday mindset calls. If this was valuable to you, please share it if it was valuable to you. Please reach out to me if you have questions about it. You can find me all over social media, or on my website, amandastarkingsley.com. My wish for you is that this does make a difference in your business, and that you can go create that massive ripple effect that you imagined when you first signed up for your company. Have a great day, everybody.